An ugly monster is making a pearl necklace. In order to give birth to these stuffed nougats, they have been in the production training camp for several months. The loach, who has never seen the world, is heartless and wanders in front of him. He accidentally sacrifices himself to become a strength coach. There is no love in the cold breeding farm. In order to let them find the feeling of love again, the innocent crucian carp is also accidentally implicated. Not only has it become a pot of egg soup, but the crucian carp that was still alive and kicking the previous second has its brain removed by someone in the next second. The fresh crucian carp brain tissue is crushed and diluted, and then injected into the female giant salamander. I have never seen such a thing before. Enter crucian carp has been a human diet for thousands of years. I recently learned that it is not only delicious, but also has the effect of flirting. It seems that the ancients ate crucian carp soup to increase milk production. It was not for its meat, but for its brain. In the trap carefully set by the workers, the giant salamander has become an absolute production tool. The egg production of the large garden species is twice that of their wild sisters. The giant salamanders born and raised in the wild are not easy to fall in love.
Gong Dani froze to des Iri. The importance of the house.
From June to August every year, the apartment in the breeding season should first take care of the house. Invite an eye from Tsuda to enter the house. The female fish lays eggs and discharges sperm. Whether it is artificial breeding or natural reproduction, Dani relies on in vitro fertilization to continue her offspring. When the female fish farm is finished, she will finally drive Dani away immediately. She will start the dad mode conscientiously. Gong Dani is a model father in the animal world. He is solely responsible for protecting his children. Sidani has no maternal instinct. He lays more than 1,000 eggs each time. His body has been hollowed out. At this moment, they want to eat everything around them. In the farm, the workers take on all the eggs discharged by the female Dani. After artificial fertilization, they are placed in the incubator for a period of 1.5 months. The workers need to regularly check the eggs. Check and remove unfertilized and diseased eggs. Change water 3 or 4 times a day. Ensure the water is clean and fresh. Make sure there are no fine stones or sand in the incubator. Prevent the follicles from rupturing.
Keep the Wassertemperatur in the incubator constant.
Provide tumbling water flow to prevent the fertilized eggs from lacking oxygen. As time goes by, the fertilized eggs begin to change slowly. From being forbidden, they slowly evolve into the appearance of life. The follicles become transparent crystal beads. The yolks become unremarkable little fish.
The newborn giant salamanders swim freely in the bubbles.
Their gills have not yet degenerated, allowing them to move freely in the water like a fish. When the soft yellow is completely absorbed, they will break out of the shell. Soon they will have their first meal of meat in life, a delicious meal of red worms or water soap. When they are young, giant salamanders look like small catfishes, but they are not as hardy as catfishes. Keeping the water clean is the key to improving the survival rate of seedlings. As the largest and oldest amphibian, giant salamanders are on par with dinosaurs and have survived in the world for more than 350 million years. However, they are not very adaptable to the environment. Giant salamanders have very high requirements for water quality, temperature, and light for growth. They have poor migration ability and are very dependent on the original ecological environment. Wild giant salamanders are very difficult to grow. Baby salamanders can only survive in unpolluted deep mountains and old jars. Even if they are artificially bred, the farms must be built in unpolluted places close to mountains and rivers. In order to prevent the water source from drying up, workers collect mountain spring water in reservoirs and lay a large number of pipes to introduce spring water into the breeding ponds. The water pipes without faucets are constantly gurgling 24 hours a day.
Baby salamanders like fast flowing water and living in darkness.
They breathe through their lungs and skin. They can stay underwater for 6 to 10 minutes with each breath. Therefore, they are very sensitive to water quality. Pesticide and other chemical pollution will cause them bring disaster. Some farms even prohibit workers from using cosmetics. Long-term running water can accelerate water quality exchange and increase dissolved oxygen. Secondly, it simulates the wild environment and allows them to grow safely. In addition, stable growth temperature is very important. They have a strong appetite between 12 to 20 degrees Celsius. Of course, the more they eat, the faster they grow. Outside this range, as the temperature rises or falls, their appetite gradually decreases and they even stop eating. But don't worry, as long as they don't die, they won't starve to death even if they don't eat for a year or 2. Dani can eat a meal. Food that is 1/5 of their body weight. They are also very resistant to starvation. They stay still during special periods. They can live for 2 or 3 years without food or water. The growth rate of giant salamanders in the fry stage is very fast. 2 or 3 months after they open their mouths. Workers start feeding them fish. Farms with better conditions will provide them with live fish.
Catching fish games.
Will greatly increase the amount of exercise for giant salamanders.
Will make them grow stronger.
The meat will be more elastic. The corresponding cost will also be increased. They can eat even if there are no live fish lying flat. The temperature is different in the 4 seasons. The feeding amount and feeding time are also different. The temperature is suitable for growth in the season. Workers feed them once a day. In winter, they are fed every 4 or 5 days. Food is distributed at 2% to 4% of their body weight for each meal. Because they are intolerant to chemicals, there is not much technology or hard work in raising giant salamanders. Every meal is meat. The food is better than that of humans. In order to prevent water pollution, workers need to clean up the remaining ears in time after feeding. The pool is cleaned every 2 to 3 days. Although they don't like to move much and are as heavy as iron fools, they are actually masters who hide their true strengths. Giant salamanders in the wild can not only catch fish, shrimp, insects and ants, but even snakes, rats and birds are also on their menu. Giant salamanders will quietly hide in dark corners and wait for the opportunity. Their body color blends in with the environment. They are openly invisible. They can not only confuse their prey, but also avoid their natural enemies. They look stupid and have a pair of disproportionate green eyes. After living in darkness for a long time, their eyes have become useless. They mainly receive information from the outside world through their uneven skin. Once they sense the movement of their prey, they will attack quickly and accurately. They will never let go of their prey. Their flat mouths don't seem to have any lethality, but they hide tiny and sharp teeth inside. If you give them a knife, the mildest ones will feel like being stabbed by a double-row chopping board, and the worst ones will bite off a piece of meat directly. If the workers hadn't discovered this unfortunate giant salamander in time, it would have become a big the dead souls under my brother's mouth. They can swallow everything that can be stuffed into their mouths. The workers took great efforts to rescue him from his big mouth. The injury and shock made him slow in his movements. But don't worry. His vitality is very strong. The mucus oozing from the wound can make the wound heal quickly. This mucus is the natural protective agent of the doll. After being captured by the natural enemy, it will also secrete a lot of mucus as a lubricant to take the opportunity to slip away. It can also prevent water from increasing in dry weather. In addition, they will be fine even if their limbs are bitten off. Danny has the special skill of regenerating after a broken finger, because they will attack each other. The farm has made many incomplete things. Under normal circumstances, the doll is only there are 4 fingers on the back, and the hind limbs are like the palms of a baby, with 5 fat fingers. High-density breeding makes these tender and easy-to-swallow parts often become snacks for other giant salamanders. There are huge individual differences among giant salamanders born in the same batch. Some grow 5 kilograms in 3 years, while others grow less than 1.5 kilograms. Therefore, workers will size them every once in a while. It is common for similar animals to meet each other in the amphibian world. Timely screening and size measurement can reduce losses caused by accidental injuries. Compared with other economic meats, giant salamanders grow very slowly. They need to eat 5 kilograms of fish to grow 1 kilogram of meat, and it takes 3 to 4 years to grow into commercial fish weighing 3 or 4 kilograms. He is the undisputed giant in the amphibian world. He can grow to more than 1 meter in length and weigh up to 100 kilograms. No one knows how long he can live. The oldest known giant salamander lived for more than 100 years. It is said that adult giant salamanders can make a baby-like cry, so they are called giant salamanders. Can they really make this sound? No one has ever given a definite answer. Farmers who have been raising giant salamanders for decades have never heard this sound. In the dark and gloomy farm, besides the sound of splashing water, there are occasional sounds of fighters. It is like the environment of a horror movie set. If adding the legendary sound, it is estimated that people will be scared to death if they don't make money. In fact, people have long discovered through dissection that giant salamanders have no vocal cords and cannot scream. The so-called baby cry may be the occasional sound when breathing, just like people snoring and whistling, but it is also unconfirmed. And why Danny is called a giant salamander is no longer verifiable. Giant salamanders have been registered with animal protection a long time ago. Breeding requires a license. The first person who discovered that giant salamanders are delicious must be a ruthless person. Such an ugly creature can actually be eaten. The appearance is different from that of the giant salamander. Its meat is delicious and has few thorns. It is tender and chewy. Those who have tasted it will be unable to stop eating it. For creatures other than humans, delicious food is often worth their lives. Due to overfishing and environmental reasons, More than 80% of wild giant salamanders have disappeared in the past 100 years. Due to their large size, their population is difficult to spread. It is very difficult for the population to recover under natural conditions. Because of their rarity, the price of giant salamanders was once hyped up to thousands of yuan per kilogram. However, with the improvement of breeding and farming technology, the survival rate of giant salamanders has greatly increased, and their value has also plummeted. Commercial fish weighing 3 or 4 pounds. It takes several years to raise them and sell them for dozens of yuan per pound. But for most people, this is still expensive meat. In addition, the size of the giant salamander is too big to be handled at home. It is destined not to be economic meat. Generally, it can only be eaten in restaurants. In order to solve this problem, some factories process the giant salamanders. Part of it is made into sausages and other products, and the rest is cut into pieces. After freezing, it is sold in the market, allowing more consumers to taste this delicacy.
Have you ever eaten giant salamanders?
Is it as delicious as the legend says? Thanks for watching.
See you next time.